All right, let's dive in. We're going to explore the future of AI today.
AI.
And to guide us, we've got this keynote speech by a tech influencer named Aragorn.
Okay.
He delivered this at a facility management conference in Slovakia.
Of all places.
Of all places, right?
That's interesting.
So you might be thinking,
Yeah, AI and facility management, like, how does that...
what's the connection?
Yeah.
But Aragorn's point is that AI is poised to transform every single industry, even ones that we might not immediately think of right away.
Yeah.
So
that's a good hook.
Yeah, and he really grabs the audience's attention by painting this vivid picture of a near-future world that's been completely reshaped by AI.
Yeah.
Think about like AI assistants that are managing our schedules down to the minute.
Wow.
Our physical environments adapting to our every need and preference. And this seamless interaction with virtual spaces. He even makes a joke about AI reminding you to like put on pants before a virtual meeting.
Yeah, gotta love that.
So it's clear that
make it relatable.
He's trying to make this feel relatable, right?
Like some dystopian future.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the big question that he asks, just how fast is this future approaching?
Right.
And to illustrate this concept of exponential growth, which he thinks is really driving this, he uses a clever analogy.
I love a good analogy.
A lily pond.
Okay, lily pond. Let's hear it.
All right, so imagine this. You have a lily pond, and the number of lilies in this pond doubles every day.
Okay.
Now, if the pond is half full on day 29, when is it only a quarter full?
Okay, let me think about that for a second.
It's a brain teaser.
So if it's half full on day 29 and it doubles every day, it would have to be a quarter full the day before, so day 28.
Exactly, day 28.
Gotcha.
And it highlights how we often underestimate the speed of exponential change.
Right, especially when you get closer and closer to that.
Especially as we get closer to that tipping point.
Tipping point, yeah.
Right. So think about this, right? Let's apply this to something like self-driving cars.
Okay.
Now, if self-driving cars are at like that half-full adoption today, a year ago they were only at a quarter.
Right.
And a year before that,
an eighth.
An eighth.
Yeah, that's wild.
It makes you think.
It really does.
About how quickly things can change.
Yeah.
And Aragorn's point is that technological advancement is on a similar exponential trajectory.
Makes sense.
It's not just
incremental
improvements anymore.
Yeah.
It's this period of rapid and accelerating change.
Totally.
And then he even brings up Ray Kurzweil.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know Ray Kurzweil?
Yeah, the law of accelerating returns.
Yeah, the law of accelerating returns.
Right.
So the idea that each breakthrough kind of paves the way for even faster progress.
Right. We build upon things before us,
each other, right?
Yeah.
And to illustrate this even further, he compares the development and adoption of the combustion engine versus the rise of Tesla.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So the combustion engine took over 50 years to go from invention to widespread adoption.
Wow.
Tesla, on the other hand,
much faster,
achieved a similar level of market penetration in less than half that time.
Wow.
So it's not just about computers getting faster.
Right.
It's this fundamental shift in the rate at which technology is transforming our world.
Yeah, the pace of change is changing.
The pace of change is changing.
Exactly.
And to really drive this point home, Aragorn highlights some pretty mind-blowing milestones.
I'm ready. Lay it on me.
All right. So he starts by taking us back to 1997. When IBM's Deep Blue supercomputer defeated chess grandmaster Garry Kasparov.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this was a landmark moment.
It really was. At the time, it was unbelievable.
Yeah. It was unbelievable because it was showcasing AI's potential to surpass human capabilities in these complex strategic tasks.
Yeah.
I remember watching that match. It
was huge news.
It was huge.
Yeah.
But then he fast forwards us
to
2016 and Google's AlphaGo beating Go champion Lee Sedol.
I remember that.
Now, Go is a game
way more good.
With way more possible moves than atoms in the universe.
Pretty much.
So many people thought that AI could never master it.
Right. It's not just the number of moves, it's also like the intuition involved.
It's the intuition. And what's fascinating is that AlphaGo made moves that seemed completely illogical
To us.
to human experts,
Right.
but they turned out to be strategically brilliant.
Yeah.
So this wasn't just brute force calculation.
Right.
It was like this glimpse of AI's ability
For creative problem solving.
for intuitive leaps and creative problem solving, and it gets even more mind-blowing.
Okay, more mind-blowing than that. I'm ready.
When he starts talking about the increasing IQ of AI models.
Okay, so we're quantifying this now.
Yeah, so just 2 years ago,
Oh.
GPT 3.5 had an estimated IQ of 64.
Okay. Which is,
So pretty good.
pretty
Good
good
for a computer.
for a computer.
But now, the latest model, CeeLo W3, scores 101,
Above average.
which is above the human average.
Human average, wow.
And he says that the most advanced models today are already estimated to have IQs in the 115 to 120 range.
Wow, that's incredible.
Which means that
So any kid born today?
no child born today will ever experience a world where machines are less intelligent than humans.
Yeah, that's a crazy thought.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah, really makes you think, what does that world look like?
It changes everything.
Yeah.
So we're not just talking about AI being good at chess or Go anymore.
Right.
We're talking about a world where AI potentially outthinks us in every field.
Yeah, that's a little unnerving.
It's a little unnerving.
Yeah.
And this leads us to Aragorn's next point,
Okay.
the expanding abilities of AI.
Okay.
And he links this
Mhm.
to the development of transformer models back in 2017.
Transformer models. Okay.
Wow, this was a huge leap forward.
Okay.
Because before transformer models, AI systems really struggled
Yeah.
to understand and process information the way that humans do.
Yeah, just crunching numbers, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
But these models are driven by this concept called attention.
Attention. Oh.
And they treat all data as a language,
Interesting.
allowing for this much deeper level of understanding and more flexible information processing.
So it's like they can actually kind of read between the lines, not just see the
and
words.
Not just understand the words on the page, but like get the meaning behind them.
The meaning, yeah.
And this paved the way for things like ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Yeah, everybody's favorite.
We all know
AI chat.
can generate this incredibly human-like text. Right.
Translate languages on the fly.
Yeah.
Write different kinds of creative content.
Yeah, I can write poems and scripts and...
You name it.
Yeah.
And answer your questions
Mm-hmm.
in a way that feels almost like you're talking to another person.
It's really remarkable.
And we all saw how quickly ChatGPT took off.
Yeah, it was like overnight.
It hit 100 million users in just 2 months.
I think it was the fastest growing app in history.
The fastest growing app in history.
Yeah.
And Aragorn's point is that
Okay.
ChatGPT is just a taste of what's to come.
So just the beginning.
Just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Because AI capabilities are constantly improving
Mm-hmm.
and new applications are emerging all the time.
Like what?
Well, he highlights some truly remarkable examples.
Okay, I want to hear this.
Like being able to talk to animals.
Talk to animals, okay.
Remember he mentioned that?
Yeah, he did. I was like, what?
So AI systems are now being developed
Yeah.
that can analyze
Animal communication.
and potentially even translate animal communication. Okay, so we can actually understand what our pets are thinking.
Imagine. That's both amazing and terrifying.
Imagine being able to understand what your dog is thinking.
Right.
Or even having a conversation with a whale.
Oh.
Like, that is mind-blowing.
Yeah, I never even considered that.
What else did he mention?
Right? There's got to be more.
He showed examples of AI generating realistic videos from text prompts,
Oh, wow.
composing unique pieces of music,
Okay.
driving real-time translation with lip synchronization,
So like a universal translator.
like a universal translator,
Wow.
and even driving robots that can perform complex tasks,
Okay.
like picking apples,
Okay.
patrolling for security,
Yeah.
managing inventory,
So these robots could actually like work in warehouses and stuff.
and even, as he put it, cleaning toilets.
Cleaning toilets. Oh, man.
He specifically mentions a video of a robot called Figure 1
Figure one.
that's responding to requests and explaining its actions.
Okay.
And this ties back to his point about the future of facility management, right? Where these AI-powered robots
Could handle everything.
could potentially handle all sorts of tasks.
Yeah.
So he's really pushing the audience to think about how their industry is going to be transformed.
Right. It's not just about robots in factories anymore. It's
Yeah.
about AI integrated into like our homes and workplaces.
Everywhere.
Yeah. And maybe even
And he even introduces this concept of Homo technologicus,
Homo technologicus.
suggesting this future
Okay.
where technology enhances human capabilities to the point
We're like cyborgs or something.
where we can control computers with our minds
Wow.
and play games using our brainwaves.
Right. Sounds like science fiction.
That sounds like science fiction.
Yeah.
But then he brings up real-world examples,
Okay.
like Neuralink's brain chip,
Yeah.
which has the potential to help paralyzed individuals regain movement.
Right. So it's not all just hypothetical.
Not just hypothetical.
Yeah.
It's fascinating and a little unsettling all at the same time. Yeah, it really makes you think about, like, what does it even mean to be human?
Yeah. Where do we draw the line
I mean, that future.
between our biological selves and these technological augmentations?
Right. Yeah. It's a tough question.
And it's not just our physical capabilities that could change.
Right.
It's also how we interact with the world and each other.
Yeah, how we communicate.
And Aragorn points to what he calls the virtual generation,
The virtual generation. Okay.
who spend a significant amount of time
Online.
in these online platforms
Yeah.
like Roblox and Fortnite,
Yeah, the metaverse.
creating their own content,
Right.
building communities,
Yeah.
and even participating in these virtual economies.
So it's like a whole other world.
Yes,
online.
it is. It's another world.
Yeah.
And Aragorn suggests that these platforms could actually evolve into mainstream communication channels
So we're all going to be hanging out in the metaverse.
with brands and organizations
Yeah,
and
nice.
even families using them to connect and interact.
Wow, so the lines are really blurring.
So the lines between the physical and digital realms are blurring,
Yeah.
especially for younger generations.
Right.
It makes you wonder what will happen to our cities,
Yeah.
our workplaces, even our homes,
If we can just connect virtually.
if we can connect and interact so easily in these virtual environments.
Right.
But with all this talk about AI's potential,
Mm-hmm.
there are also some big anxieties.
I would imagine so.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the future of work.
The big one.
The big one.
Yeah.
And Aragorn doesn't shy away from that.
Okay.
He cites Goldman Sachs' prediction
Goldman Sachs.
that 300 million jobs in Europe alone
300 million.
could be impacted by AI,
Wow.
with potentially 83 million jobs lost globally in the next 5 years.
That's a huge number.
So that's a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
It's hard not to feel uneasy
Yeah, for sure.
about those kinds of predictions.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be asking, what do we do now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The question is, how do we balance the potential benefits of AI with the very real concerns about job displacement
Yeah.
and economic disruption?
Right. What does he have to say about that?
And that's what we're going to dive into
Okay.
in the next part of our deep dive.
I'm ready.
So stay tuned.
All right. So we left off talking about
Those job losses.
those potential job losses
Yeah.
due to AI.
Like hundreds of millions of jobs.
Yeah, a lot of people are worried about that.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
And Aragorn acknowledges that.
Okay.
But he also presents a more optimistic perspective.
Okay. I like optimism.
He doesn't just leave us hanging with those
Doom and gloom.
scary numbers.
Yeah.
Right? He argues that this could be an opportunity
An opportunity. Okay.
to rethink our relationship with work altogether.
Okay. So instead of fearing job displacement,
Yeah.
we could see it as a chance to, like, free ourselves up.
What if instead of fearing job displacement,
Yeah.
we saw AI as a chance to free ourselves
Right.
from the necessity of work as we know it?
From work.
Like, that's a pretty radical idea.
It is, yeah.
What are we supposed to do instead? Like,
Yeah.
sit around and play video games all day?
Well, he doesn't say that exactly,
Okay.
but he suggests that, AI could handle a lot of the mundane tasks,
The boring stuff.
the jobs that no one really wants to do anyway.
Yeah.
And that would free us up to pursue our passions,
Okay.
explore our creativity.
Yeah.
And contribute to society in new and meaningful ways.
So it's not about a life of leisure.
Not necessarily, no.
It's about a shift in what we consider work
Exactly.
and how we find fulfillment,
Yeah, redefining work.
redefining work.
Okay.
But is that realistic?
Well, that's the big question.
I mean, our entire economic system is built around work.
Right. It's all about productivity.
Productivity
Right.
and, contributing to the economy.
He acknowledges that.
Okay.
Yeah, he even hints at, like, a potential shift away from a purely capitalistic system
Okay.
where the value of human contribution
Yeah.
isn't just measured by, like, economic output.
Interesting.
So it's a bold vision.
It is.
And it's certainly not without its complexity.
Lots to figure out.
But it's definitely interesting to consider,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the context of this other major trend
Okay.
that Aragorn discusses,
A rise of virtual worlds.
virtual worlds, the metaverse.
The metaverse.
Yeah.
And he points out that the lines between the physical
And
and digital realms are already blurring.
Especially for
that
younger generation.
virtual generation.
Yeah, the ones who grew up online.
Right, they're spending so much time
In those online platforms.
in online platforms like Roblox and Fortnite.
Right. Creating content.
Building communities,
Participating.
participating in these virtual economies.
It's a whole other world.
It really is.
Online.
And Aragorn suggests that these platforms could evolve into mainstream communication channels.
So not just for games anymore.
Not just for games, with brands and organizations and even families.
Wow.
Using them to connect and interact.
So like we could attend virtual concerts.
We could
hold business meetings.
Yeah.
Even visit our families.
Visit our grandparents.
In these immersive digital environments.
From the comfort of our own homes.
Right. It's wild.
It really makes you wonder what will happen to our cities.
Yeah. Will we even need cities?
Our workplaces, even our homes.
If we can do all this virtually.
If we can connect and interact so easily in these virtual environments.
Right.
But Aragorn also raises some concerns.
Oh, really? What's he worried about?
About these virtual worlds.
Okay, like what?
He uses this thought-provoking analogy.
Okay, I love analogies. Let's hear it.
Imagine you're building a restaurant in a virtual world.
Okay.
Like McDonald's.
Okay, virtual McDonald's.
You put in all this time and effort and creativity to make it successful.
Make it the best virtual McDonald's ever.
But then you find out you can't take it with you.
What do you mean?
You don't own the digital real estate.
Oh.
The platform does.
So you're just a tenant.
You're building something valuable.
Yeah.
But ultimately you don't have control.
You don't own it.
Or ownership.
Right, that's a problem.
So Aragorn argues that we need to rethink
ownership
and control
in these digital spaces.
Okay,
yeah, that makes sense.
How do we ensure that users have more say in how these worlds are governed?
Yeah.
And that they benefit from the value that they create?
It's like we're building a new kind of society.
It is.
Online, but we haven't figured out the rules yet.
We haven't figured out the rules of the game yet.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
But let's go back to that idea of Homo technologicus for a moment.
Okay. Homo technologicus, merging with machines.
Yeah, this future where humans and technology kind of merge.
Right.
Enhancing our capabilities in really profound ways.
Yeah, he talked about controlling computers with our thoughts.
It's not just about using technology. It's about integrating it.
Into our very being. Yeah.
And he points to advancements in brain-computer interfaces.
Neuralink.
AI-powered prosthetics, even gene editing.
Wow.
As evidence of our growing capacity.
To modify ourselves.
To modify and enhance our biology.
It's incredible.
Imagine controlling computers with our thoughts. Playing games using just our brainwaves.
Yeah, it's like something out of a movie.
It sounds like science fiction.
It does.
But he brings up those real-world examples like Neuralink's brain chip.
Right.
Which aims to restore movement to paralyzed individuals.
Yeah, it could really change people's lives.
So it's not all just hypothetical.
Right. There are real applications.
It's incredible, but also a little bit unnerving.
I can see that.
What does it mean to be human
when
we start merging with machines?
Right. Where do we draw the line?
Where does the line between human and technology blur?
That's the big question.
And these are the big questions that Aragorn wants us to grapple with.
Okay, so he's not just predicting the future.
He's challenging us to think
about what kind of future we want.
He argues that we need to be more thoughtful about how we design and govern these technologies.
So they don't get out of control.
To ensure that they're equitable, inclusive, and benefit all of humanity.
Benefit everyone.
But amidst all this talk about virtual worlds and augmented humans, he doesn't lose sight of the very real anxieties
that people have about AI.
Especially
when it comes to work.
Especially about work.
Right.
He brings up those stark statistics from Goldman Sachs.
About job losses.
About potential job losses.
Yeah, millions of jobs.
And he points out that AI is increasingly capable
of doing things we thought only humans could do.
Of performing tasks that were once thought to be exclusively human.
Like what kind of tasks?
Writing.
Okay.
Designing. Analyzing data. Even providing medical diagnoses.
So it's not just blue-collar jobs.
It's not just blue-collar jobs being replaced by robots.
Right.
It's white-collar jobs.
Yeah.
Creative jobs.
Even jobs in healthcare.
Even jobs in healthcare that could be impacted.
Wow, this really changes everything.
And this raises some fundamental questions.
About the value of human labor.
About the value of human labor in an AI-powered world.
Yeah. What happens when machines can do our jobs better than we can.
What happens to our sense of purpose and identity
Yeah.
if work as we know it ceases to exist?
That's a heavy thought.
It's a really heavy thought.
Yeah.
And it leads us to one of the most profound questions
Okay.
that Aragorn poses in his keynote.
What is it?
What does it mean to be human in an age of AI?
Wow. That's a big one.
It's a big question,
Yeah.
and it forces us to confront
Like our own assumptions.
our own assumptions about what makes us human.
Right. What makes us unique?
What gives our lives meaning?
Yeah.
What is our role?
In a world where machines can seemingly do it all?
It's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it really is.
And it doesn't seem like there are any easy answers.
Not at all.
But Aragorn doesn't just leave us with questions.
Okay, so he offers some guidance.
He offers some guidance and practical advice
I don't know.
for how to navigate this AI-powered world.
All right, I'm ready for that.
And that's what we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay, I'm hooked.
Okay, so we've explored Aragorn's vision of this AI-powered future.
Yeah.
We've talked about the potential job losses, the rise of virtual worlds,
The metaverse.
even the merging of humans and technology.
Right, blurring the lines.
But he doesn't just leave us with a bunch of what-ifs.
Okay, yeah.
He offers some practical advice
I like practical advice.
on how to actually navigate this rapidly changing landscape.
All right, so what does he say?
So he emphasizes that we can't just sit back and wait for the future to happen to us.
Okay, so we got to be proactive.
We need to actively shape it.
Right, take control.
And he starts by stressing the importance of lifelong learning.
Lifelong learning. Okay, so we got to keep learning new things.
Yeah, with technology evolving so quickly, the skills we have today might be obsolete tomorrow.
Exactly.
Aragorn's point is that we need to become lifelong learners, constantly adapting, seeking new knowledge, and expanding our skill sets.
Right, so it's not just about like finishing school or getting a degree.
It's not enough.
It's about always being curious and willing to learn.
It's about cultivating this mindset of curiosity
Yeah.
and a willingness to embrace change.
Embrace the unknown.
Well, what about those of us who aren't,
Yeah.
tech geniuses?
Not all of us are programmed.
How do we keep up?
Right.
Well, Aragorn addresses that too.
Okay, good.
He stresses the importance of developing critical thinking skills.
Okay, critical thinking.
In this age of information overload,
Mm-hmm.
where AI is generating and manipulating so much of the content
Right.
we consume,
Yeah, it's hard to know what to trust.
it's crucial to be able to discern fact from fiction,
Right.
identify bias,
Mm-hmm.
evaluate information sources critically.
So you got to be like digital detectives.
We got to be savvy digital detectives.
Yeah. Right. Always questioning what we see online.
Constantly questioning.
Okay, I like
What
that.
we see and hear online.
Yeah.
And this ties into his next point
Which is
about collaboration.
okay,
You
collaborate.
need to break down silos,
Yeah.
share knowledge, and work together
To harness the power of AI
to harness the power of AI for good.
for good. Yeah.
It reminds me of that proverb.
Which one?
If you want to go fast, go alone.
Okay.
If you want to go far, go together.
Yeah, I like that.
But in this case with AI, it feels like we're going far and fast.
Yeah, it's moving quickly.
So how do we steer this thing?
Right. What's Aragorn's take on that?
Well, he encourages us to think beyond
Okay.
traditional economic models.
So like capitalism.
If AI can free us from the necessity of work,
Mm-hmm.
what new models of value creation and distribution might emerge?
Okay, so new ways of thinking about work and value.
He challenges us to imagine new possibilities,
Yeah.
new ways of organizing society, maybe even redefining what it means to live a fulfilling life.
So it's not just about losing your job.
It's not just about the fear.
It's about reimagining what's possible.
It's about imagining a world where work isn't the center of everything.
Oh, okay, that's a big shift.
It's a big shift,
Yeah.
but he's urging us to be bold in our thinking, to embrace the uncertainty of the future, and to actively participate in shaping the AI-powered world
Right, we're creating.
that we are creating.
Yeah.
He reminds us that we have choices to make,
Oh.
decisions to guide the development and application of this technology.
So it's not about AI taking over.
It's about us deciding
How AI will be used.
how AI will be used and how we'll adapt
Right.
to this new reality.
Yeah.
Which brings us back to that profound question
Yeah, the big one.
that Aragorn asks.
What does it mean to be human?
If AI can achieve human-level intelligence, what does that mean for the future of humanity?
It really makes you think
It's a question that forces us to confront our own assumptions
about what makes us human.
about what makes us human, what gives our lives meaning,
Right, our purpose.
and what kind of legacy we want to leave for
Yeah.
future generations.
It's a lot to ponder.
It's a question that doesn't have a simple answer,
No easy answers.
but it's one that each of us needs to grapple with.
Absolutely.
And as we navigate this new era of AI, I think Aragorn's keynote offers a valuable roadmap.
Yeah, they got
It highlights the potential benefits and challenges,
Mm-hmm.
encourages us to be proactive,
Right.
and reminds us that the future is not predetermined.
Yeah,
It's up to us to shape it.
we have the power
So, dear listeners, we've reached the end of our deep dive
into the world of AI.
into Aragorn's insights on the AI revolution.
Yeah.
We've explored the mind-blowing possibilities, the potential pitfalls,
Big questions.
and the thought-provoking questions that lie ahead.
Right.
And we encourage you to continue this exploration,
Yeah, keep learning.
to stay curious and to engage in these critical conversations.
Absolutely.
Because the future is not something that happens to us,
Yeah.
something we create.
We create it together.
So keep learning, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
Until next time.
Until next time, fellow explorers.